Like many of you, I learned to knit from my grandma, and the way that she taught me how to cast on is very interesting. As a child, of course, I thought that everyone learned to cast on the same way and did everything the same way, but when I grew up, I realized that I was the only one who cast on the same way I did, and that the edge that it gave my knitting was very interesting to look at, very beautiful, and very durable and very elastic. It's a great all-purpose cast on that you can use for hats and socks and sweaters, and it wears very well on the edges of many knitted items. So I'm going to show you how to do my grandma's cast on right now. Now this is a two-stranded cast on, which means that you'll need to measure out your tail so that you have the right length before you start casting on. And a good way to do that is to wrap the yarn around the needle the number of times that represents the stitches that you're going to cast on. So if you're going to cast on 20 stitches, you need to make 20 wraps around your needle. And then when you pull that off, that's the length of yarn it will take to cast on 20 stitches. Now, you're going to hold the tail, the loose tail, in your left hand, and the other part of the strand that's connected to the yarn ball will go in your right hand. With the tail that's in your left hand, wrap the yarn counterclockwise around your thumb to make an X. Use the needle in your right hand to pick up the top leg of the X and pull out a little bit so that you see a triangle form. Grab the needle with your thumb and finger from your left hand, and then with your right hand and the working yarn behind the needle, wrap the working yarn around the needle and bring it through the middle of that triangle like this. Then, holding your finger on it, tighten it up with your left hand. You want to tighten with your left hand only. If you try to tighten with both hands at once, it'll catch and knot up. Let's do it one more time, or a few more times. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around your thumb, pick up the leg with your needle, grab the needle with your left hand, and with your right hand, wrap the yarn around and come through the triangle. Now I'm going to go a little bit faster so that you can see that there's a nice fluid movement to it. Now, if you want your edge to be very elastic, or if it's going to have to be blocked around, say, a scalloped lacy edge, you can make your stitches a little further apart and stretch them out a little bit more and keep this bottom loop very loose. Because it's the bottom loops that you make along the cast on, at the foundation of the cast on there that determine how loose or tight your cast on will be. So you can make those loops a little looser like this and spread the stitches out as you go. Or you can make them a little bit firmer and closer together for items such as sweater edges, you know, at the edge of a sleeve where you want that area to be firmer and to keep its shape better and wear longer. You might want to make your cast on just a little firmer in that spot. So with these stitches it's a little firmer, and with these stitches it's a little looser and more elastic. And you can see here now that the edge has kind of a triple purl look to it, almost like a tiny I-cord edging. It's very pretty and it's very functional as well. That's my grandma's cast on.